Cortland Simmons with you here on this CS Racing Report in the year of our Lord 2018. It is August the 26th, the day after a wonderful festival of racing at Saratoga Springs, New York, highlighted and featured by the 149th running of the TRAVERS Stakes, won by Catholic Boy, a son of More Than Ready, trained by the up-and-coming Jonathan Thomas, ridden by five-time winner Javier Castellano, who adds his sixth Travers to his most impressive resume. Catholic Boy wins by 4 lengths over Mendelssohn in 201.94 for the mile and a quarter distance, carrying 126 pounds, and with that victory has proven himself to be a very viable candidate for the upcoming Breeders' Cup Classic, along with other options, as his trainer alluded to in the post-race press conference. So when we had the questions, the $64 questions that characterize this 2018 Travers Stakes, a lot of question marks on where the 3-year-old division stood against a pretty good group of older horses that have emerged with a couple sparkling performances, headed by Accelerate and Diversify on respective coasts, the West and East Coast. Where the 3-year-old stood, what their identity was, and who was going to be the head CEO of the 3-year-old division in lieu of the retirement of Triple Crown winner Justify, who would have, definitely been arguably one of, if not the favorite for the Breeders' Cup Classic, as well as this Travers Stakes. And the questions were abound going into this race. Tenfold, he drifted out significantly in the Jim Dandy. I said that those matching 93 speed figures between he and Vino Rosso, a horse who ran in spots in that Jim Dandy, where he had to be whipped and drive on the backside, finally got into the race at the very end after it looked like he was going to finish last in that race. It came to hand where these discrepancies, these weaknesses, these chinks in the armor from these two horses got unmasked for what it really stood for. They got unmasked for who they really were in the Travers. They just did not have the speed, the tenacity, and the stamina, although Vino Rosso did run a decent fifth, to contend in this Travers Stakes. Tenfold finished, as I said, an unassuming and a non-threatening 7th. So again, Tenfold, I had said before that he should stalk in this race. He did try to employ a little bit of a hybrid of running near the lead, which I don't think serves him very, very well, and being in mid-pack, based on the way those horses broke out of the gate. A situation in which Good Magic, the favorite coming out of the 9, got outrun to the first turn, and got outrun in such a way in which, for a great horse, it's not a tremendous downside. You can navigate a trip and work your way back into the race, and or find some position, because the stamina is there, the ability to make those adjustments, those Roger Federer type of adjustments, where if things don't go exactly right, I can go to my plan B, C, and D. He wasn't able to do that. He got outrun in the first turn. All the tactics went out. But again, if he really was that good, he would have been able, with 9.5 furlongs to go in this race, to make a run and at least hit the board if he didn't win it. Of course, people would have made the excuse, well, he got a bad trip and that's what cost him. Otherwise, he would have won. He finished 9th. When you finish 9th, there's no petrol in the tank. And he just did not perform, and there's really nothing you can say about that in terms of making a justifiable case for why he lost. Obviously, he didn't get out there the way you would have. It was not an ideal start, and so therefore, as I said before, the best laid plans can go wrong sometime. That certainly is what happened. But again, the winner had to come out of the 11, and you see what he did. He was able to overcome all of that and utilize his speed and get out of there alertly, and hence it was tantamount to him winning this Travers Stakes. And Vino Rosso, will he produce? The mental issues that he had in the Jim Dandy, as I aforementioned, he was able to overcome that somewhat. He's just not fast enough. But he did run 5th, and he's a horse that Todd Pletcher's going to have to really evaluate. Where do we go next? Do we run in the Gold Cup? We still believe a mile and a quarter is a good distance, and I agree with that. The Gold Cup could be a good spot rather than trying to wheel back into the Pennsylvania Derby. Get the extra week, run in the Gold Cup, get the 5-pound weight allowance, run 10 furlongs again. Let's see where it puts us, and if fitness-wise we can handle that, come out of it very well, smelling like a rose, and go back to Kentucky and run a nice race in the Breeders' Cup Classic.